Welcome to the Soft Power Project, the podcast that journals the story of women as they navigate their own transformations. I'm Sherry, a certified coach and your host. In my mid-30s, I made the bold decision to reinvent my life. Now in my 40s, I'm sharing that journey along with the stories of women who inspire me. Like you, we're embracing growth to become our highest selves. Let's celebrate the power of self-exploration, one story at a time. Hello everyone, welcome to Soft Power Project. Now today's topic is quite an uncomfortable one. It's very vulnerable for me to talk about. I am not sure how to even start. I'm afraid to share this out there, but at the same time, I know this is going to benefit some of you guys. I'm going to talk about the D word. Divorce. And I'm going to talk about its beauty. Now, disclaimer out there, I am not promoting divorce because I think that it's still such a taboo, even though so many of us had gone through this or going through this. I think a lot of people would still think that people who are going through divorce or had divorced simply because I didn't try hard enough in relationship. And obviously I'm going to say that that's absolutely not true. No one goes into a marriage hoping for divorce. And for anyone who had been asked this question, what about the kids? You know how frustrating it is. But you know what? Our job is not to explain ourselves because it's our lives. You have to live a life that's the most authentic to yourself. And I'm here to share what I've learned in the divorce and also in the custody battle that I had to go through for the past, I don't know how many years now. So, it's been long. It's been quite a long time. And for anyone who had been through custody battle or any kind of court system, you know that it is, I don't even think painful is the right word to describe it, but it's definitely a journey that you took on. And it's almost like a reflection journey that you had to shed every single ego that you had to protect yourself and really look inwards and kind of like re-understanding how the world operates in a way. But without getting too much detail, here is the short version of the story. I got divorced when I was, I think, 35, 36. It was probably the darkest time, but now I think about it as probably the most amazing year that I had because I made that decision. And obviously I had reflected on it and I thought about it for so long. And I definitely felt so sad and lost for many, many, many years before that. It was the year my grandmother passed away, whom I definitely identify as my second mom. It was also the year I decided to take on coaching, to get the certificate, and to start my own business. Yes, everything happened in that year. It was the year for me to change. And it's not an easy process, guys. Every single divorce is so different. Never ever compare your own divorce with someone else's because that will only make you become more frustrated. So don't ever do that. My divorce was, I would say, relatively quick, but the custody battle came a year after that. And it was definitely, I would say, I would use the word torture for the first few years. And then I also grew. I also became very confident. I also found my power because of that. If you had met me at 34, you wouldn't recognize me. I don't know if I look different or not, but I was a completely different person. I believed at the time that I needed a man to complete me. I needed a man to protect me, to provide for me. I needed a man to provide for me financially. I couldn't do it on my own, even though I had an accounting degree from a really good school. But that's, that was a limiting belief I had at the time. I thought I only could have a career where I could be very flexible. Therefore, I could take care of my child or kids whenever I want. I would put my career on hold so that I could be the mom first and foremost. But I'm telling you, that limiting belief definitely killed me. You have no idea how many nights I would cry myself to sleep. My pillowcase was always soaked in my tears, and no one knew about it. No one knew. So at the age of 35, it was the turning point. It was maybe because I pray every single night that something had to change, and something did. I think just all of a sudden I felt like I had to change something. I'm the one that had to change. Not something, not someone. I had to. And I think I definitely pissed off a lot of people around me because I was not the same. I made a lot of people feel very confused because she is no longer the same Sherry that they have recognized. I had to go through a lot of arguments or fight, or I even had to leave certain people from my life to make myself at peace. So it was not an easy process. But anyhow, what I wanted to tell you from all of those sadness, depression, frustration, anger, and self-reflection, I learned a couple things. Actually, I wanted to talk about this. I left this out, but in the darkest moment during that time where I felt so confused, and one tidbit is that I actually got into a relationship that was very, very, very toxic for me right after my divorce. And that also almost killed me, but also gave me so much knowledge of who I am right now. I remember because I started my business, I had to be everything, right? I had to be the sales, I had to be the host, I have to be the business development. At the time, I hosted a workshop so that I could promote my business, obviously. And it was a whole day thing, so my parents volunteered to take care of my daughter. They took her to a different apartment, and so I get to have the place on my own so I could really focus on the workshop. So I came home with no one in the house, and I had all this like adrenaline from the workshop. When you're facing a crowd, you had to put on a mask and you had to present yourself as this happy, confident person. As soon as I got home, that mask just dropped on the floor and I just started sobbing and I couldn't stop. I remember I had to crawl underneath. We had a shrine in the house. My mom and my parents are Buddhist. So we have a little shrine. It was not extravagant at all. It was very little. There was a table and I crawl underneath the table to cry. Still triggered me to think about that moment. But that was how dark my life was at the time. But now I'm sitting here talking about it and so grateful for that experience. I wouldn't change a thing. So here's the thing. What I've learned for all these years from all those obstacles and depression and sadness and anger and all that emotion, I've learned 3 things. And if you're going through a divorce and if you're going through a life-changing opportunity, I'm saying the word opportunity because I really want you to see it that way. Because every depression it's a time for you to really reinvent yourself. So when you're going through that opportunity, 3 things you have to know. Number 1, you put all the focus on you. Believe me, when you're going through, let's say, a court process, you will be sucked into these different things that you never thought about. You would be sucked into a lot of advice and suggestions from everyone who cared about you. I mean, they definitely said it out of the kindness of their heart because they loved you, they cared about you. And it could also be suggestions from your lawyer, and they're speaking from, a legal perspective. You're going to get so many different opinions and advices from all over the place, from all directions. But at the end of the day, I want you to think about why you're committing to do this in the first place. And why this is something that you wanted to do for yourself. Picture something that you want in the future, whether it's freedom, it's financial security, it's a vacation with your loved ones, with yourself, maybe a solo trip. Start imagining and manifest this desired life. Why you did it in the first place. And by doing so, this is something I have to say, and this may be a little controversial, is that you gotta embrace your loneliness and protect your energy. So many times I've met my friend, I would go out with my friends because, I think people wanted to help, but if they have never been through the divorce, if they have never been through a custody battle or legal process, they don't know how uncomfortable it is and how draining the process is. Sometimes they would ask you things that you don't want to talk about. Again, I'm not saying that friends are, you shouldn't meet friends or you shouldn't go out. No, it's that you choose the right time. If you just feel like you don't have enough energy that day, you need your alone time. Even though you're so afraid to be alone, embrace that. I know it sucks so bad, but nothing is worse than going out to a place where you don't want to even talk about your legal process or anything that's too hard to people that may or may not matter to you all that much. It's through this process you're going to know who your true friends would be. And this has nothing to do with whether they're good people or not. It's just that sometimes you'll know who are the ones that will understand you or try to understand you. So embrace that. Embrace the loneliness and really protect your energy. That's the most important thing. And commit to your decision and remind yourself just why you're doing this in the first place. And the second thing that I want you to know is let it play it out. Don't put a timeline on it. You have to let go the idea of as soon as this is over, I will be happy again. Because you can choose to be happy right now. Even though you feel like there's no way I can be happy. Everything is happening to me. This is so chaotic. I was a single mom. I'm still a single mom. And at a time when it first happened, I could not understand why I felt so much shame for myself and guilt for being a single mom. And of course, it was because a lot of voice coming from elders, coming from people around me, telling me, oh my God, the kid is gonna suffer. And in my heart, it's like, yeah, I know. I know what this means. I know. But at the same time, I'm committing for this change, so that my kid get to see her mom accomplishing something and be the most authentic self. I know eventually this is the best decision I will ever made. So remind yourself that you get to be happy. I mean, you don't need to go on the trip. You don't need to go on a shopping spree. I mean, you can if you want to, but what I mean that you get to be happy, you can choose to be happy, just choose to smile and laugh about a joke. Watch something funny. You don't have to think about all the things they're going through because it's just time. It's just the background noise. Let it be the background. Let it be something that you don't focus on. And don't put time pressure on it because the thing is, when the more you resist, it persists. If you resist, if you put a time pressure like, oh, it has to end next year, it has to end this year, it has to end this month, it's not going to go according to your plan. Because when it comes to legal process, there's the other side of the things there. There are things that are completely out of your control. So if you're trying to control the outcome, means that you're trying to control this person that is currently playing against you. And you cannot control that. You absolutely cannot control that. Again, don't put time pressure on it. Let it be the background. Live your life. Again, kind of goes back to the first point. Live your life. Let it be the background and focus on what you need. Your career, your kids, that trip that you plan for yourself. Focus on that. Because everything else will go away eventually. And it doesn't make you less. It doesn't make you less worthy. It doesn't make you different. Believe it or not, a lot of people are going through this. A lot of people are going through court process. A lot of people are going through divorce and everything, but they just don't openly talk about it because we're so scared of what the society would look at us, would judge us. Number 3, this is kind of a hard one, but I've learned it in a very hard way. And I feel like the reason why I had to go through so many years of legal battle is because I get to tell you this. It's not about winning or losing. It's never about that. And I know it's hard to believe that because you're going through the legal process and it is about winning or losing, right? There's a winner, there's a loser. Of course it's winning or losing, but it's not. And the faster you can understand that, the better off you're going to be. Trust me. So here's the thing. The court obviously will have to place you in these oppositions, right? A and B, and you guys are battling over something, money, time with the kid, and property or assets that you have. And of course, you get to fight over, you get to file a bunch of claims, you get to talk about it in court and learn negotiation skills and all that. But at the end of the day, think about this. It's about you walking away from the situation. So if you suddenly feel like all your energy, all your focus is to win this, is to win this battle, to show this person that you're better, that you're in control of your life, that's when you're intertwined in this process. And that's when you have lost focus to why you're even ending this relationship in the first place. Because I bet no one out there ending the relationship, wanting to leave someone or wanting to end a relationship with someone, thinking that it's because I wanted to get into a court situation and intertwined, 5, 6 more years. No, I don't believe that's true. And I understand sometimes legal process is necessary. And I also had to learn it the hard way. At first, I was very much ashamed. The fact that I had to go to court, and I've been to court many, many, many times. I was ashamed. I didn't want to talk about it. Only my really close friend knew about it. And I didn't want to talk about it with anyone else because it's such a lonely process. But you know what? A lot of people are going to court all the time. And I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but it's not impossible. But think of it this way. You're going to court to get some perspective. You're going to court to learn. You've seen so much when you had to go through the process. You see the real person in front of you, and you will learn to appreciate the fact that I made the right decision. And the thing is, when you think you're winning, this is the other things that's hard for a lot of people to think about, because we see dramas, and we see it on movies where someone win and then walk away, and then they will have this amazing things to say, and they get to walk away. And that seems like the end of the movie, right? But if you're co-parenting, if you shared, let's say, a company, if you shared something together, you're bound to, you're going to run into each other, or you may have to coexist because of the kid, right? Because of your child. So there is really no true winner or loser out there. If you need to coexist with someone, you still need to manage some sort of peace. And honestly, that peace is for yourself. The more at peace you are with yourself, the more you know that I don't have to be a winner at all. And the true winner is the person who understands that, because they get to live their life and they get to commit to the decision they had made for themselves. So, as I said before, no one is going in court, or no one is, making this life-changing decision just because they get to intertwine with this person even more. A lot of times in this kind of situation, it gets very ugly, right? And if someone wanting to win, they will have this hook on the other person. Maybe it's money, maybe it's child, maybe it's time, or something. Something that they know is really important for the other side, and they will use that to hook their interest and their effort. The sooner you figure out what that hook is, and sooner you let go of that hook, the sooner you become the winner of this, because you get to focus on yourself again. So, in summary, you put all the focus on you, all the energy on you. Remind yourself that why you're committing to this in the first place. Why is this decision so important for you in the first place? Number 2, you let it play out. Don't put time pressure and a timeline on it. Let it be the background. Number 3, it's not about winning. It's not about losing. Recognize the hook and let it go. So it really all circled back to what you want at the end of the day. What do you want from this life-changing thing that you're currently dealing with? And start going towards that. All these things that's happening that may seem so chaotic, that's so consuming, let it be the background. Let it be the background. And I really hope that this can give you some insight, because I feel like nobody really talks about this. And I really wish someone had told me this years and years ago. But also at the same time, I knew I had to learn this so that I can record this for you right now. And guys, if you're going through this divorce or any life-changing decision, it's not supposed to be fast. Have some grace for yourself. Have patience for yourself, and have patience for the process. Because you're going to realize that you have learned and gained so much from it. And one day you're going to look back and just remembered, oh, yeah, that happened. Yeah, it was a lot. But I've also gained so much from it. And remember, you're not alone. We're in this together. We're taking on this project together. And this is just a process so that you get to know who you are, your most authentic self. Thank you for joining me today. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. The Soft Power Project is produced and hosted by Sherry Fang. For any inquiry, please email us at softpower.you@gmail.com.